So many reasons I took a liking to you. One, we played the same position. We're both from Florida. You know, I didn't always like the fact that you went to Bama, but I was still a fan, you know, of your ability and what you did on the field. But other reasons are the similarities, you know, and things that happened to both of us. Yeah. My agent took advantage of me earlier on. I had a $5 million signing bonus, $3 million, $2.5 million went into an offshore account, which eventually became a Ponzi scheme. And this is after my rookie year. So now I'm dealing with some success on the field, but I also have to deal with the fact that this man just stole majority all of the money I just signed for. So then the injuries start happening. So now I got to deal with the money problem and the injuries in football being taken away from me. That was a thing that when we started talking and we developed a friendship, I said, you know, I want to do my best to try and look out for him, to try and help him avoid some of the pitfalls. But the hardest thing for me, I became a bit depressed. You know, I started developing like these just overthinking and these mental issues or what have you. But Jacksonville, they went and hired a sports psychiatrist for me, and Trevor Mowat, who passed away a couple years ago due to cancer. But Trevor kind of put my head in a safe space, which allowed me to kind of get out of that funk. For you, how did all of that stuff that happened to you with the family, with football being taken away, being traded, how did it affect your mental? How tough was it?
Man, it was a lot, because you got to think about it. I had Trevor, too. When we, Coach Saban, hired Trevor to come, be with us, too. I didn't have none of that when I left. Like, I didn't have the Dr. Echoes. I didn't have the Trevor. I didn't have the Wizard. Like, I didn't have none of them guys. And so you got to think about it. I'm around a whole bunch of people that's immature to stuff, too. Mm-hmm. Like, we never had money. We never had this type of success. Like, we'd never been traded. Like I was mature to a lot of stuff. And so for me, man, like, I didn't have an out, man. I would go home, bro, and get my kids in the room and shut the door, knocking on the door. You want something to eat? Nah, I'm good. But it was one of them things to where it's like, man, like, football for me became my biggest nightmare. You know how we say that's my biggest dream? Like, that became my biggest nightmare because of the relationship part with my family, the relationship part with just realizing, like, when they say faith, family, football, they mean you have faith in us in this building. And we your family. And you gonna play our football that we finna pay you for. Wow. And so I didn't get that at that point, right? And so I'm still a kid in the mind. And it's just like, bro, like, it just took everything from me. But, like I said, man, you learn different ways to get through stuff. And so for me, I never turned to drugs, never did that, I don't even drink. And so, man, like, imagine getting messed with about weight, right? I'm 232 with only 4% of body fat. How can I lose weight? And now y'all trying to make this a thing, man. Have you ever been in a dang complex and your GM tell you that you dead to me?
Who was the GM at that time?
Ron Gritson.
Wow.
He says you're dead to me.
Yeah, said the same thing about Dirty. But he told me he said that about him. Like, how can I play for somebody like that? And it's just like, bro, like, why did y'all come get me?
What was the context of a conversation where Ron Gritson would say, "You're dead to me"?
So when I first meet the guy, he goes and say, man, I'm that guy that, when I meet, I don't want nobody talking to him. I don't want nobody messing with me. All right, cool. All right, that's you. And so year one would go by, year was, up and down. So we're going into the second year. And it wasn't a year that it was just like I was just doing bad. Bro, our center was 274, 6 foot tall. Andrew was getting hit when I was there 10 times a game. When I left, he was getting hit 25 times a game. And not now one time I gave up a sack. You know what I'm saying? And so it was one of them things to where it's like, that we didn't have the offensive line for the offense that you're talking about. Y'all go back and go hire Andrew Luck, offensive coordinator from Stanford. And so like he told me, that's all I know is Andrew. And a lot of stuff is over my head.